You're listening to the Behind Ears podcast, because everybody does Disney differently. The Behind Ears podcast crew would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support. Expedition Roasters is the artisanal roaster of specialty Disney-inspired coffees. Why not brew some of the magic at your home? Some of our coffees include Skipper's Brew, Ghoulish Delight, Enchanted Tiki Coconut, Redhead Rum, and many other unique roasts. Our coffees are certified gluten and allergen-free and feature unique custom artwork by guest artists. Expedition Roasters offers an adventure in every bag. So start your adventure today by visiting us online at expeditionroasters.com. That's expeditionroasters.com. And Behind Ears listeners, be sure to take advantage of this exclusive offer and save 20% on your first purchase with code EARS20. That's EARS20 at expeditionroasters.com. Brew your happy place. Do you have a little one and don't want to bring your stroller from home? Have you destroyed a stroller in the past from all the wear and tear from a Disney vacation? Well, Kingdom Strollers is a great place to rent a great quality stroller at a reasonable price. Kingdom Strollers is a Disney-featured stroller provider, which means they will deliver it right to your resort, even if you're not there. Same thing for picking it up at the end of your trip. So if you're in need of an affordable stroller rental during your next Orlando trip, consider renting from a Disney-trusted stroller company. Visit KingdomStrollers.com for more information.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of Behind the Ears podcast. It's a Tuesday edition, so we're one day past Monday, that much closer to Friday. I am Uncle Danny, the man on the other side of the glass. That is Mr. Chris. Sir, how you doing on this fine evening?
What's going on, man? I'm actually doing really good. It's been a long day, you know, but you know what? I'm glad that I have made it through because I get to hang out with you and all these other fine people. It's just going to be really pretty awesome today. And by all means, we got a lot of really good stuff to talk about.
I don't think I've been included in the word fine and other people all in one sentence in my life. So learn something new every day. What do you want to start with first?
Well, I'll tell you what I want to start off with. It's time for Behind the Ears Podcast News. All the news you could use around Walt Disney World. That's right. We're going to have a news episode today, and we've got a lot of really interesting stuff to talk about. First and foremost, I don't know if people got a chance to see this over at the WDW community page, but there was basically kind of I'll call it test footage that was kind of released today about the new Millennium Falcon ride. And all I got to say is, while it's only test footage, it did remind me a lot about Star Tours, but I think it's going to be an extraordinarily cool thing. It's just the beginning of what I think is going to be like some real serious interactivity when it comes to new attractions. I don't know. Did you get a chance to see that earlier?
I did not, unfortunately. I'm not going to lie to people.
I mean, it was one of those things where it was like they did some explaining about, you know, what was going on with it and so on and so forth. But I got to be honest. I know that you and I have talked about some of the things going on with Toy Story Land, and some people have made some comments about, you know, Toy Story Land is, you know, going to be somewhat of a small start. And that may be true. But, you know, I still think Slinky Coaster is going to be pretty epic and this, that, and the other. But you know darn good and well people are still going to be waiting for Galaxy's Edge. I really honestly think that it is going to live up to the hype. But here's the thing. I've already heard comments from people saying, you know, it better meet or exceed the hype. Almost like, I don't want to say threatening, but it was kind of like, it better be good. We're waiting for so long. It better be good, folks. It's better, you know, it's going to be fabulous. And,
don't put all your eggs in one basket, people.
I know I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to I'm not going to sit here and say to myself anything of the sort that, I'm going to be disappointed with it. There's just no way it's going to be a bad show in general. There's just no way they could afford it. And, the hype is going to continue between now and then. You have the new Solo movie coming out here relatively soon, which someone asked me if I was going to go see it. I am going to go see it. I just don't know when I'm going to go see it. Mm-hmm. So are you going to try to go see it? Because, I mean, it's very much like, Rogue One last year. It was kind of a spin-off story, somewhere in the middle of the Star Wars timeline, so to speak. And obviously this is I'll call it a big time Solo prequel, no pun intended. I mean, it's by itself, so to speak. It's an origin story of sorts. Are you going to, being that you've tried to see a few of the Star Wars films, are you actually going to take some time to watch Solo by chance?
For the show, I feel like I should, and the appropriate answer here would be yes. I can't wait to see it. I cannot tell a lie. No, probably not going to go see it. Honestly, no. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. I've given Star Wars a shot. I promised a couple people that I would sit down and watch every Star Wars movie, and I'm going to hold true to that. I'm going to give it an honest whirl, but I need to stop seeing the new ones because I have no idea what's going on. I'm still looking for Chewbacca. That's literally the realm of, like, I walk, I'm like, wait, where's Darth Vader? Where's Chewbacca? What happened? Those are the only Star Wars characters I've ever known. So I'm going to be honest with you. Until I see the rest of them, I feel like I'm doing myself a
disservice.
A disservice, yeah, that's where I wanted to go with that. A disservice by seeing these other ones. But, I mean, I've seen some quick bits from it, through YouTube. And I'll tell you what, I mean, it looks good from what, now granted, I have no idea what I'm talking about. It looks interesting. I'm sure that it's going to be, Disney doesn't really give you flops anymore. It's been a long time since we've seen a Disney flop.
Yeah, but here's the interesting part to it. I was in a conversation the other day with someone about The Last Jedi. Now, I really liked The Last Jedi. I loved it. I'll say I loved it. It's a good, solid 9 in my book. I really super enjoyed it. What I did not understand was the amount of people that picked it to shreds. And almost like, I mean, I'm sure there are probably people that did it, but it was almost like they went frame by frame and critiqued it. And,
I hate people like that.
Well, that's the thing. I think it kind of made a really good movie. I mean, people called it a flop, or people say it didn't meet expectations, and I'm like, where are you getting that from? And
the question is, what are your expectations? It's the same thing going back, and I apologize for walking over you there.
That's okay.
It's the same thing with the expectations of Pandora, and the same thing of, now granted, I'm gonna backtrack for a second.
Sure.
I know I'm going off a beaten track here. Pandora, I blame Disney, because Disney made it seem like it was going to be this immersive land. And at the end of the day, it wasn't. If you've noticed, and at least in my personal opinion, I'm one of the biggest Star Wars, Toy Story nuts out there. They're not really hyping Toy Story. I'm seeing more commercials on TV. I will say that, but they're not pushing it like they did with Pandora by any stretch of the imagination. But it's the same thing when you look at the notion of Toy Story, Pandora, the new movie you're speaking about. What are you expecting to come out of it? I mean, if you walk in with a level mind, I saw a fantastic quote here by one of our avid listeners, John. If expectations are too high, then you will be disappointed.
What's too high?
Yeah, but that's the thing, is you have to play it out in your head. Listen, if you're going to walk in, I'm going to be dead honest with you. If you're about to walk into Toy Story and think it's going to be Harry Potter, you're wasting your time. It's not going to be. It's not going to be. Now, at the same time, if I walk into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and it's not better than not better than Harry Potter, I'm going to be mad.
Well, now my turn to back up for a second. The thing is that with Pandora, I enjoy Pandora. We talked about this even as early as last week. Love Flight of Passage. the Navi River journey was too short, has its flaw, but it's eye candy.
Mm-hmm.
At nighttime, it's better, but I've also heard they've made some changes that the next time you and I go at night, it'll probably be even a better nighttime experience because, I mean, cool. You and I have talked about. I almost lost my family.
You did no, not almost. You successfully lost your entire family, and then your wife successfully lost everybody. And it's me, guys. That's a story for another day because it's absolutely hilarious. But basically, I'm going to start charging, Birch is very close to my age. So by no stretch of the imagination, I'm just joking here. I'm going to start charging babysitting money over here. I need $10 a minute the way we're running around looking for you too. No, but please continue.
No, but it was actually kind of fun. I'm sorry. I should have never brought it up because now I'm going to go into just little small bits of laughter. But, Pandora, again, it kind of depends on what your expectation is. I still think that Pandora is not finished. That is going to be an evolving part of Animal Kingdom for quite some time. We just don't know because all the hype and Imagineering power, so to speak, is all being focused right now between Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge. I guarantee you within 5 years, which if you think about it, 5 years, a couple of things are going to happen. Toy Story is going to open, Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge is going to open, and the hotel, the Star Wars themed hotel are all going to open. And I know they're going to have other projects in between and stuff like that. That's not going to stop anything. But I'm still of the impression that, Pandora is going to get some love, especially after they release the sequel to Avatar. And that's kind of the thing. I mean, I'll go off of some of the comments that have been mentioned in the background, like what Jen mentions, like the guy in the robo suit. That was something I saw today. Now I made the comment that it's not quite the mech suit that they had in the movie Avatar. But the technology, it just goes to show that was once science fiction is now something that became reality when you have a human being sitting in this gigantic mech suit. And so I just thought that was really super cool. And it does give a little bit of that movie sensation inside of Pandora. And not saying that Pandora should mimic the movie, but it's yet another aspect of what we know from life on Pandora. So, kind of going back to what that is, I think Pandora still is growing. I do think that when Star Wars Galaxy Edge is opened, you're going to have things like, the Millennium Falcon attraction that we were just talking about is... Yeah, as well as the other attractions in Star Tours, I bet you any money is going to get some kind of a good refresh between now and then.
That's interesting.
That's just I don't know anything. That was purely speculation, but it's been I think they have it now where they can get that pretty much. They can change at least the scene very quickly, and that's really really cool. When Galaxy's Edge finally opens up, it's going to be epic. And if it isn't, it's going to be, here, let me rephrase it. You're not going to please everybody in the Disney realm. You're just not. And I think the problem lies with we are waiting so long for it. The anticipation is building so much for it that you're going to get people that are going to be nitpicking it. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to necessarily hear the nitpicking. I want to experience it myself. I'll create my own assumptions. I'll create my own, opinions of those things. But I look at some of those attractions and the possibilities, especially being a techie nerd that I am. Oh yeah. The potential is skyrocketing, and they still got a full year to develop it.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a lot of time. It's enough time.
See, I'm with John. I didn't know that was a real robot. I just assumed there was a dude on stilts walking around.
Yeah. I mean,
That's cool that they can be able to do that.
The thing is, it looks real. Let's put it this way: if it's fake, it gives a great visual paradox. But it surely does not seem that way to me.
I'm gonna bury this next news story like Disney tried to bury it. We saw another price increase today. Do you see this? The firework dessert party over on the Tomorrowland Terrace.
No.
Starting any day after May 28th, regular prices are going from $79 to $84. Look, it's $5 difference. And kids are going from $47 to $50, so a $3 difference. Not the end of the world.
Whoa. Time out. That's how much is it now going to be after May 25th?
84 for adults, 50 for kids.
For the dessert party?
At the Tomorrowland Terrace.
The one that you and I did last year?
No, we did the garden. Didn't we? The Plaza Garden viewing? Didn't we do that one?
But it's about the same price. Or it was about the same price.
Well, the price for that one is also going up. For the Plaza Gardens viewing area, they're going from $59 to $69. So a $10 jump up.
Okay.
And kids will go from $35 to $41. They hit it, man. They hit it well. No, I you know how we are. I don't get on the computer as much as I would like. But this one was tucked away. I had a dig for this one.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it. I mean, the thing is that I don't really want to say it. I'm glad I did it last year. At $60, that was about the threshold that I would want to spend for it. At $70, and there's going to be 5 of us next year, that's an extra $50 for the, I'm referring to the, garden view, so to speak. I probably would think less just because of the overall cost. That's the thing. People whine about price increases, and they do make a certain point. Something may go up $10, but if you're a family of 4, that doesn't go up $10. That goes up $40. If you're a family of 5, it's $50. And what's $50? $50 is another really nice lunch somewhere. And, yes, you get a lot of really good desserts and this, that, and the other. You can have a fun time with it. If you've never tried it and you're interested in trying it, I would still recommend trying it. I tried it. I liked it. I probably wouldn't do it again for quite some time. It will be a special event type of thing. But now that its price has gone up and that I'm going to have 5 people instead of 4 in my traveling party, to me, it goes up $50 just for the garden view. I will have to pause on that a little bit.
I'm a sucker for gimmicks, 100%, especially inside the park. I remember a few years ago they did it was an extra, I think I paid an extra $30. It was just me, so $30 is not the end of the world when it's just one person.
Sure.
And they did the what was it? The Villains DJ dance party.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With Sony Eclipse over there. Dude, I had a blast. It was not worth $30, but I had an absolute blast. Same thing with you guys when I was we were all in the parks together.
Right.
Listen, that was a lot of money that we paid for cookies and cake and a little bit of milk and the same exact viewing area that I would have got anywhere else. I'm just saying, listen, I'm a big sucker where I'll try it once. Why not? I understand it's expensive, but you don't know if you're going to like it until you try it.
True.
There's a lot of expensive things in Disney that are great. The Hoop-de-Doo review, it's a very pricey meal for what you get at the end of the day. I highly recommend the Hoop-de-Doo review.
Absolutely. I think there's okay, here's the thing. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There's a difference between something that's a good value. There's a difference between cheap and a good value.
Yeah.
Because the lowest price doesn't necessarily give you the best value. There are certain airlines that are cheap that don't necessarily give you a good value.
Spirit.
I didn't say it. So
I'll do it. I don't care. Ban me.
Okay. It's one of those things. Lowest cost does not necessarily equate to best value. That's just my 2 cents. Your mileage may vary. Taxes not included. Void of repayment by law. But, I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, I wonder if you've already reserved it. I wonder if your price gets grandfathered.
They usually always do. You can always call Disney and double check that, or call your TA, get a good TA, and they'll be able to do that for you. Listen, I would be shocked if Disney didn't allow it. They do everything with grandfathering. They kind of word it. They don't let everybody know that you could be grandfathered in, but they say any parties after the 28th. But technically, if you bought in advance, it shouldn't matter. But I'm not going to say yay or nay either way, because I don't want to steer you wrong. I have no idea. I have no clients that were doing it. So, but staying on the sweet tooth side, and also maybe a little teardrop for some of you, like it is for me. You know the Sweet Spells over on Sunset Boulevard in MGM?
Yeah.
Well, there was rumors a while back that it was closing, and I was very upset because they have a lot of first of all, they were the only store that had basically all Pixar stuff. They had so much Toy Story stuff in there on the right side. And then they always had all the food, the sweet treats on the left-hand side. Great location, gorgeous building. Anything you could need was in that store.
Sure.
Well, it is permanently closing as of April 16th. To get this, to make way for a Pixar store.
A Pixar store.
Set to open alongside Toy Story Land June 30th. The refurbished store will be primarily location. Oh, wait, that's a terribly worded sentence. I was reading it. That's what happens when you read things. It's supposed to be basically the prime spot for Pixar merchandise in the park. The production kitchen and treats at Sweet Spells will be removed, although some prepackaged items, which are terrible, will continue to be sold at other stores. For non-package items, quick service dining locations will be the place to go. The Real Vogue, that it kind of looks like the camera store right next door.
Oh, the Villains in Vogue? No, the Real.
Yes, the Real in Vogue.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That will continue to operate during refurbishment. So I don't know if they're going to be moving some stuff in there to make way for it, but interesting tidbit there to do that.
Well, while I know a lot of people don't necessarily like change, here the big thing is this. We know that with the advent of Toy Story Land coming into place, and we know that they're going to have merch over at Toy Story Land. The thing of it is that we also know that just because you have a lot of merch doesn't mean it's enough. And I have a feeling this is going to kind of act like a little bit of overflow merch for Toy Story Land. It doesn't necessarily seem like it makes a lot of sense to have it so far away for something like that. But, I can see where the rationale came into place to try to do something like that. Besides, if you think about it, if it's going to be a Pixar store, we're not talking just Toy Story Land. We're talking about a focus for everything Pixar, which means, if you're able to get, you know what? I would love to get a really cool, Mr. Incredible shirt. I had a really cool shirt and on the top it said, Mr. Incredible. Well, I wore it out. I'd like to get something different like that. Yeah. So you got the Incredibles, you want Cars, you want, Toy Story, you want, Bug's Life, things like that. That's where you're going to get, hopefully, if I'm guessing right, that's where you're going to get some of those really cool pieces of merch. There probably is a demand for it because if you think about it, there's not a lot around Hollywood studios that is Pixar centric.
No, and I'm me, I'm a diehard Pixar fan. Sure. I think it's the best thing that Disney's done in the last few decades.
Yeah.
But with that being said, there's just so many other locations you could have moved it to. And once again, this is just to show you what Chris said is you can't make everybody happy because, look at me, I'm getting, sad about, a candy store going away.
Yeah.
But there's so many clothing stores there. Like, what's the one that has the old movies posters in it? It's going to be on the opposite side of Sunset.
I know it has the old Cadillac sitting in front of it.
Yeah, it's over. Like they have like Hollywood Studios like T-shirts in there and everything. The store's always dead. Why not put Pixar in there? And granted, you're going to have these diehard movie fans that are like, "What are you crazy? Don't take away my store." And once again, you're never going to make everybody. No one's going to be 100% happy with it. It's just that was the only confectionery that I can think of inside that park that they're now taking away.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily know 100%. I mean, what they're going to do with it, but it should be quite interesting to see how it comes out. Granted, you go from, having some nice fresh sweets to packaged goods. You're going to have to go down towards some of the other vendors. I call it the outdoor food court. Over by like where Fairfax Fair is, or down by Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror, which, by the way, has a lot of really good chow down there. I won't necessarily get into it, but I found
we should do a show one day because I feel it's very underrated down there.
You know what it is? Because even last year I was really trying to watch what I ate, and I found plenty.
They've got a fantastic wedge salad in there.
I had a chicken Caesar that was, okay, yeah. I understand a chicken Caesar is basically chicken, romaine, Caesar dressing, Parmesan cheese. How could you screw that up? Trust me, you can. And they didn't. It was really, really good. It was one of those cases where, I'll be honest with you, after about halfway into my trip, I'm looking for some healthier fare. I'm looking for, some lighter stuff. I'm not looking for everything.
You need that foliage.
Well, okay, not just foliage, but I can enjoy a nice salad. Yeah, I know you got a big guy like me. He wants burgers, he wants fries, he wants, Casey's corn dog nuggets. But the fact of the matter is sometimes I enjoy a good old salad, a wedge salad. I'm gonna have to try the wedge.
I tried. It's delicious. It's not your normal ginormous wedge salad you would get somewhere else. I would say it's probably about half of what a normal wedge salad is. So for the price, you're like, but it was good. Trust me, listen, this physique does not eat a lot of salad. So for me to say it was good, it was good.
Speaking of which, I think we need to talk about the sweet stuff.
Are you talking what I'm talking? Because where are you going?
I was going to go to the menu that was released.
I literally just pulled it up and saw
it. I think you like.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll let you do the last thing. No, never mind. We'll split this up. Let's go one by one. So if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, the little quick service stand, which is going to be called, I think it's Woody's Lunchbox.
Yep.
It just released a menu. No prices. This is not necessarily the final end-all, be-all menu, considering the fact it doesn't open up for another few more months. But first up, and this sounds delicious. You know what? There's literally everything on this menu but two things I did not. I liked everything but two. This one I loved. It's the s'more French toast breakfast sandwich. Its oozy goodness is chocolate ganche, the marshmallow stuffed French toast topped with graham cracker crumbles, inspired by a classic American campfire treat.
Okay. I like s'mores. I do. I like good s'mores. That sounds like you go in there, you eat it at 9:00 in the morning, and by 11:30 you're starving again, just because.
9.
Well, I know you don't get up for the crack of noon, but that's beside the point. What I'm kind of getting at though is a little more. It's a lot of sugar, but boy, does that sound.
Yeah.
But you know what I think it is? That would be something that I would buy. Like, I'd buy a couple of the items that we're going to talk about, and then split it between my family and make it a nice, really cool snack. But that does sound so delicious. It's not even. My mouth is already watering, and that's really bad. We do this so often. You would think that I would be conditioned to not have to do that. Yeah. I like what Anita says. Lots of sugar, quick sugar rush, and then you crash. Yeah.
John beat me to it, and I just got diabetes because there's so much sugar. Oh, that's why when you said 9:00, I cringed because 9:00 is just too early in the morning. But then 9:00 and all that sugar. Oh.
What's gonna happen is that all of a sudden, you feed off of that, you give some to your kids, and then they're bouncing off the walls like Teddy Ruxpin on a car battery. So, anyway, what else do they have? Because there's got to be more. Because I just drooled through the whole menu.
Maybe you want to go there in the morning for a little sandwich, but you're like, hey, I don't want the s'mores. Well, we got you covered here. We have a smoked turkey, egg, Swiss, peppers and onions on sourdough. Perfect handheld snack for breakfast goodness.
Oh My gosh. And when I saw that, I'm like, turkey and egg and pepper and onion and cheese and sourdough bread. I'm like, that sounds like the most wonderful, savory breakfast sandwich on all property. And I never would have thought of, sliced turkey and egg. Mm-hmm. So I need to try that. I need to try my own concoction of that. And I am. Who knows? It may end up being a part of, a Mr. Chris lunch break special to try to recreate certain things in your home. But, my gosh, that sounds so delicious.
I'm dying. I haven't eaten dinner and everything on this menu. Literally, I'm going to be the guy like how we did in Pandora when we first walked in. All right, guys, you know what? I'm just going to take your entire menu, one of everything, please. And that's all to go.
Yeah.
That's literally going to be how I handle it.
That was so much fun, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what would you like? That side of the menu, and the first two items of that side, and a large diet.
Light on the ice, please.
Light on the ice.
Maybe you're saying to yourself, hey, Danny, listen, sweet sounds good, sandwich sounds good, but if I'm going to get something in the morning, I need something a little bit better than that. Well, how about this? What about a breakfast bowl? The Green Army men will line up for this hearty bowl of potatoes, brisket, country gravy, and scrambled eggs.
Gravy and eggs to me don't mix.
Oh, that was so good.
No, I mean if you said gravy on the potatoes, that's one thing. If you said egg on the potato, that's one thing. But gravy, egg, and potato.
Well, here's the catch. They don't
catch?
say this in the description, but if you look at the picture good enough, it's tater tots. That makes everything so much better. When there's tater tots involved and country gravy and some egg, sign me up. Throw a little whipped cream on there. Let's call it a day.
Lay off my tots, man. Lay off my tots.
Lay off my tots. Oh, man. I am sold. I love, you know what? Does it matter if you, all right. Would it really make a difference if you ate the gravy and tater tots and then the egg separately? It all goes to the same spot.
I know it goes all to the same spot, but it's just, I don't know. That's okay. Again, your mileage may vary. Okay, I see it this way. I wouldn't necessarily eat biscuits and gravy with eggs on top. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. But it does sound really, really good.
Yeah. It sounds absolutely delicious. We have a small technical difficulty. I apologize.
That's okay. You're coming in just fine. So, didn't they also have kind of like their own version of a Pop-Tart even?
Oh, no, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. I'm sorry. My technical difficulty was that the screen expired. All right, so next up, because we got to get into the Pop-Tarts in a second here. So, Chris, I felt like when I first read this was right up your alley.
Okay, what's that? Which one?
And this was totally out of my alley. This is the one thing I said I wouldn't like. It's the barbecue brisket melt. With a nod to the Cowboy Woody, this Texas-style smoked brisket features cheddar, Monterey Jack, pickles, barbecue sauce on a garlic butter grilled sourdough.
Wow.
I felt like that was you.
Here's the thing. There is a local guy here where I live that has probably one of the best briskets that you can get. I mean, it is absolutely fabulous. Melt in your mouth, delicious. So unfortunately, outside of the fact that my mouth is just literally just watering big time right now, I would like to try it, but it's going to be a real challenge for me to, totally give it a super thumbs up if the brisket is just not right. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like that's where they're going to have their biggest problem with is going to be the brisket.
The other problem of it is that you got the brisket. The other one has brisket gravy. It makes me think that are they figuring out how to use every little bit of one cut of meat?
Basically, yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
This one seemed interesting. And I would like one of the items taken out of it, but let's see. It's the Monte Cristo with raspberry jam. Woody's version of the classic sandwich has layers of ham, turkey, Swiss, and raspberry jam, and it's grilled to a golden brown. I love a Monte Cristo.
But
I wish I don't like the jam.
well, here's the thing though: isn't a Monte Cristo by design not necessarily supposed to be grilled, but it's supposed to be like battered and deep fried?
Correct.
Okay, so this is not quite the take on the Monte Cristo that is so famous at the Disneyland Resort. That was the one thing when I was at Disneyland, I didn't get a chance to try the Monte Cristo, which I feel really bad about. But having it grilled, in my opinion, is better than having it, doused and deep fried. But it still sounds really, really good. I'd really like to try that.
Yeah, like I said, I will literally try all of it. That's just me. Next up is, this one sounds good. I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, so I apologize. Tachos, Totchos.
No, that's right.
Oh, okay. Potato barrels again, which potato barrels are basically just tater tots, corn chips, chili, and cheese. Basically, and it's got a little sour cream on top.
Basically, what it is, it's a walking taco, so to speak, but it has tots instead of chips. In fact, where did we see the other day that they were doing just that? They were doing, it was like tater tot nachos. Was it over? It wasn't over at Casey's, was it?
The other day that was the Cuban hot dog they came out.
No. Oh, not the Cuban hot dog, but this is somewhere. Now I'm going to be on a mission to find out. We talked about it. We posted pictures about it over at the WDW community page, and it was like basically nachos, but instead of chips, it was tater tots, and it had all the trimmings on top of it, and it looked absolutely awesome.
Yes, Pecos, because
thank you.
Right across from Pecos is that little quick service, that little stand that used to sell the McDonald's, right? That's right where the McDonald's French fries used to be sold. Right. They have something in there, and it's Spanish, and we got it last time we were there, and it has chili and these corn chips, and it was absolutely delicious. So anything done by Pecos or anything in that genre, just take my money. Here's my card number. What else do you
need? Just take my magic band. Here's my pin.
Yeah, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Now let's step into some of the sides they're going to offer. Maybe if you want a little bit extra on the side, they are going to be offering the tater tots, once again, potato barrels. These next two are very interesting. They're going to be offering them. They have a vegetable macaroni salad, which actually looks really good, but you can mess up macaroni salad very easily. Yeah. And in the hot summer months, I know there's not, that vinegar and everything on it. I don't know. And this is the next one, which I'm shocked they're selling. Tomato basil soup.
See, I don't think that's too much of a surprise. And the reason why is because some of those, it's the essential soup and sandwich. And if you
got that.
So it's not only that, but there are some people that when you have a very savory sandwich, they'll dip it into a tomato soup. Kind of like kind of grilled cheese. So that's actually a good point.
It's just Florida's like,
okay, granted,
the sun capital,
Granted, I mean, it's probably one of the only dishes that when you go out to eat it, it gets hotter as you eat it. But, so I understand about the whole concept of, why would you eat something hot? Some people feel that if you eat something hot, when it's hot, you actually feel cooler. I'm not going to try that out. Thank you so much. I will continue to drink water to cool myself off. Yeah. I like the idea. Tomato basil soup, huh? I'm not a big tomato soup fan. So I may try it if anybody else actually gets it. I'll take a spoonful, give it a try.
Supposedly Disney just released the new menu. Cynthia had brought that up. It literally, as of a few hours ago, was not up there, so that's something new. I'll definitely check it out, and we can retouch on some of the items if they've added or whatnot.
Sure.
The last sandwich I have over here is a smoked turkey, tomato, and lettuce on a multigrain, so pretty standard. It's a quintessential lunchbox sandwich, basically. If the turkey's not done right, man, you're gonna mess that up. I don't know if they're gonna get good turkey. I don't know. I could be wrong.
You kind of have to. You kind of have to make it a really good. You almost have to have it to be a turkey that has a relatively high moisture content. If you think about it, it's got to be a juicy turkey. It's kind of what I'm getting at.
And the picture looks very dry. But like I said, it's a picture. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, dude, it's a prototype picture, most likely, So we'll have to. I guess we'll just have to go and eat it.
Yeah. So let's move to some of these desserts here, and this is the one that Chris you wanted to talk about. Mm-hmm. We have a raspberry lunchbox tart garnished with icing and dried fruit, and they also have a chocolate hazelnut lunchbox tart garnished with icing and caramelized bacon.
Okay.
They're basically like Pop-Tarts, just longer.
Like they look like homemade Pop-Tarts. And you know what? The first time I saw caramelized bacon, I was like, good. And then I saw the other one was dried fruit. I'm like, can I just have bacon on that one too? I mean, I was almost, because I read the first one, it said dried fruit, and I saw the picture and it looked like bacon. I was really kind of sad. I'm like, aw, it's not bacon. It looks like bacon, but it's not. And then I read the other one, like, yes, redeemed. It's bacon. So, I mean, because let's face it, you can put bacon on anything and it's better. Suppose that.
Goodness, yes.
So,
let's see. This one I'm a little oh wait, that was odd. This one I'm excited for. It's the banana split yogurt parfait. Now they're showing it in a glass cup. I'm assuming it's going to be in a plastic cup because they're not giving you glass inside the park. It's layers of banana, vanilla, Greek yogurt with a hint of honey, fresh bananas, strawberries, and pineapple, topped with granola and chocolate chips.
I'll be honest. It sounds fresh. It sounds refreshing. It sounds cool. And sometimes, to be honest with you, you just need a little bit of that protein, some of that natural sweetness. You know what? Some people would say it's a side. I would basically say it could be just used as a nice little dessert.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, it could be either one at the end of the day. I think it's going to be a nice little cooling dessert, if you ask me. What else do we have here? We have the soda floats, basically pretty standard what it sounds like. It's a soda float to that whole nostalgic beverage. Yeah. They don't give, from the link I'm looking at, they're not giving us flavors, but one looks like it might be a strawberry or a raspberry, and they have their typical vanilla, and they'll have a chocolate one as well. I don't know how I feel about a float. I don't know.
The thing is that a float, to me, you definitely have to sit and enjoy the float, in my opinion, because you're always picking at it. Unlike a milkshake that just kind of generally melts and you could just drink it as you go along. I always feel like you have to kind of play around with a float. You're always poking at the ice cream that's floating in the soda, but it doesn't say what kind of soda, or is it just like soda water plus ice cream plus whipped cream?
It's actually, I just pulled up the actual menu, so the prices are up, so we could touch on this real quick. The ice cream soda float is actually with Barks root beer.
Oh, my son would be all over that, because he is all about the Barks root beer.
So they did add a couple things. They just didn't tell you about it in the beginning. So going through it quickly, s'mores sandwich, $7.99. The breakfast sandwich with the turkey and the Swiss, $7.49. The breakfast bowls, $8.49. And they're actually considering the banana split yogurt parfait an entree, $5.99. And they also make the s'mores sandwich and the breakfast sandwich for kids. S'mores is $5.99 and the breakfast sandwich is $5.49. The desserts, the raspberry lunchbox tart is $3.29. Same thing for the chocolate hazelnut one. Going
That's
over into the lunch/dinner, the barbecue brisket is going to be your most expensive meal at $12.99. But that is, you get two sides with that. All these dinners you get two sides with. And I don't know what they're considering sides, though. Oh, I do. It'll be the soup, tots, or the macaroni salad.
Which
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, which if you think about it, most people are gonna probably say, "Give me some tots, give me some macaroni salad."
Yeah, that makes it interesting if you want to get everything on the menu, though. That's a lot of sides.
Yeah.
The Monte Cristo is going to come in at $11.49. The smoked turkey sandwich $9.99. The tachos is $8.99, and there's also a grilled 3-cheese sandwich that they did not talk about, which is $8.99. For kids' meals, they have the turkey sandwich at $6.79 and the grilled cheese at $5.99. Same thing with the price.
Oh, sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Desserts are the same price. Some of the beverages they're going to offer, they're actually offering a Dasani water bottle at 12 ounces for $2, or the Dasani, which makes no sense, the other 20-ounce bottle for $3. Okay. They're going to have coffee, smart water. We talked about the ice cream float for $4.99. Then their typical $3.29 for assorted fountain beverages. They also, here's the cool one, they're going to have cold brew Joffrey's coffee, $3.79. That's
okay.
Cool. They're going to have low-fat milk. They have the Mystic Portal Punch, which is Powerade Mountain Berry Blast with flavors of lemon, lime, and tangerine for $4.49, and 2 souvenir cups we're looking at here. The assorted fountain beverage souvenir, it's the Alien Sipper. It's got your choice of fountain beverage for $14.99, or if you wanted that same cup but you want the Mystic Portal Punch, it's $16.19. And this is the last information I have for it, and it's actually the most shocking.
What's that?
They are offering alcoholic beverages.
What?
Yep. Grown-Ups Lemonade, 3 olives, black cherry vodka, lemonade, and black cherry puree for $9.25. They have a Bud Light Lager, St. Louis, Missouri for $6.75, and that is a 16-ounce draft beer. They have the Blue Moon Belgian White Ale, from Golden, Colorado. Once again, a 16-ounce for $7.25. And lastly, it looks like another beer, which is an Angry Orchard Crisp Apple Hard Cider, and that is originating from Cincinnati, Ohio, for $8.
Overall, the prices are not bad if it is going to be the kind of serving sizes I'm anticipating and the type of food that it is. No, it's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not out of range. It would still be a very good value, especially if you got some of these big entree sandwiches that are, $12.99 with 2 sides. That's actually not a bad deal for Disney. I mean,
yeah, they're reasonable. They're not overpricing themselves.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not overpricing themselves at all. And even with the alcohol beverages, that's really not too bad either, to be honest with you. To get something of a mixed drink for under $10 at Disney is not too bad. And regular, domestic beers, $6-7. That's not too bad. I think I paid $7 or $8 for a tall Stella over at Hangar Bar, one of our favorite joints. So
still cheaper than some of your local ballparks, people. Just remember that.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, what can I tell you? But no, that's actually not too bad. So pair that up with, I would probably say don't eat before going on Sleeky Ride, just in case.
Or the spinners.
Or the spinner. Oh, please don't go on the spinner after you eat. I mean, some people say that you don't want to do that because, obviously you're going to create a body spill, as it was talked about last Saturday. But I think really you don't want to do it because that it's just going to be bad fiscal responsibility because you're going to be hungry again shortly thereafter. And you have to try it all again. No, but all seriousness, that's one of those things where you can really enjoy that. That sounds good. And, I know that we talk about food a lot, and we've actually been criticized for talking about food a lot. And I really want to comment on that really quick. The thing is that dining at Disney is actually a big deal. We've talked about it before. We'll talk about it again, but because I think it's a good reminder. you don't have to be bored with the food that you get at quick services at Disney. And I think that's one thing that we're stressing. This is a great example. There's turkey, there's brisket, there's sweets, there's grilled cheese. I mean, it's comfort food. It's sandwiches. It's kid-friendly fare, especially for a place like Toy Story Land. These are all things that kids are going to enjoy, and I think adults will enjoy trying them as well. So kudos to Disney. I think that if you don't make any changes, or if you make very few changes to that menu, I have a feeling that Woody's Lunchbox is going to be just as crowded as everything else in there. And it may be one of those cases where do a ride, even if it's do a ride, and even if it's 10:30 in the morning still, you might want to go get lunch for all the crowds.
To the most is the food.
Yeah. I mean, the Slinky Coaster looks really fun. The spinner ride I can do. But let's face it, I'm there for the food. It's going to be one of those things. But I'm looking forward to it. And, I looked at it. I'm glad you put it up there where Nicole from Happily Ever Disney says, I hope they offer mobile ordering. And, the interesting part is that I think that Disney's going to do more with mobile ordering. And I'll tell you why I say that. And a piece of Disneyland information, mobile ordering is actually going to be coming to the Disneyland Resort here relatively soon as well. Now, I say that as a piece of news because more places around Walt Disney World, they're getting mobile ordering. Everybody who's tried it has said that it's been absolutely fabulous. And so they're taking it over to Disneyland Resort, which, some people might say that they don't change as quickly as we do. But they're actually getting mobile ordering, which just to me tells me that Disney's been very happy with the results. They're going to move it over there, and they're going to probably move it throughout all the parks. I think it's going to be an epic way to be able to order things. I can't wait to order my first set of Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets using mobile ordering.
So much fun.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be cool.
Now, I had one more thing, and I know you have one more thing. Did you want to touch on the Fast Pass?
I'll just touch on it really quick. I know we're kind of running out of time, so here's the deal. And I'm going to go off of memory here, but it appears that they are making changes to the My Disney Experience app that is pretty much going to do away with the ability to giving your Fast Passes away to a stranger. Whether or not you knew this, supposedly there was something within My Disney Experience that would allow a person to basically transfer Fast Passes to somebody, even if they were not necessarily a part of your group. This was kind of a nice thing. You can do something nice for someone that you met. You just transferred over to them, bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Now, basically, if you wanted to move Fast Passes, it has to be somebody that's within your friends group or within your traveling party, which means you're not going to, have somebody that you really don't know be associated with your My Disney Experience app. That's just too risky. You're not going to do that. So now it's going to be a closer circle of people that you can change Fast Passes with. And for those that are traveling within families, that's not really going to be a big whoop-de-doo of a deal. This is going to be one of those cases where, trying to do this so that other people get them. I have a feeling this is a loophole that they're closing out as a part of a report that we did many months ago about, trying to get Fast Passes to not work on Magic Bands that don't have any tickets and that don't have any tickets associated with them. So, not really 100% sure. I'm only guessing, but it sounds like that is one loophole that is being closed. And again, I really didn't know about this loophole until I read the article, mainly because I've never really thought about it. I mean, I'm not going to give away Fast Passes. I'm sorry. Love everybody. I love my Fast Passes. And, or even get it within our group, because we usually go down with another very close family of ours. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, I don't know how I really feel about it. I don't ever give away fast passes unless I have paper ones anyway. So, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, did they close a loophole that really didn't have that big of a whoop-de-doo of a problem? I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe people were using. I'd love to know if people were, somehow taking advantage of it, or had bad experience or great experiences with it. I never even knew it existed. Yeah. Last thing I wanted to touch on is, you all know that we love our food here, and I mean, I am a huge proponent of Disney Springs food. Yes. And Disney Springs liquor, because they're doing a heck of a job down there. The wine bar, which I have been waiting patiently. It's called Wine Bar George. It's coming to the Landing at the Disney Springs, and it looks like we have an opening. We don't have a date yet, but it is expected to be open sometime in May. Basically what this place is, I'll just give a very quick description. It's basically built for a comfortable yet lively environment, and it's supposed to reminisce of like a winery that's been renovated. It's about 6,000 square feet, so it's a substantial building. Features wood ceilings, concrete floors, warm lighting, and welcoming atmosphere. Atmosphere. I don't want to say atmosphere. They're going to offer cheese plates and shareable plates. They're also going to have wine pairings for the seasons, and they're going to hopefully be keeping up with updating that wine list. So super excited about that. If you like wine like I do, that's something cool to look forward to. So many great places to do in Disney Springs. So hopefully another nice added one to it.
That's actually really cool. I'm looking forward to trying some of the new places. I mean, you've been fortunate enough to be down there a little bit more than I have this past year, and you've got to try the Edison and some of these other places down there. I'm actually looking forward to trying some of them with, going out a little bit later in the evening with my daughter and my future son-in-law, just to kind of hang out, chill, and see a side of Disney that, quite honestly, when Pleasure Island was there, I was never able to see it. So I'm looking forward to, giving something new a try, something a little bit more adult to try. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe it's something that my wife and I will try when we go down there ourselves for a solo trip sometime between now and Christmas. So there you go.
I'm going to clip that out one of these days and make a whole soundtrack of just that. It's been my ringtone.
You're going to make it your ringtone, or better yet, you're going to put it into some kind of techno beat, EDM music now and Christmas. That's what you're going to do. That's also what we're going to do.
Well, Mr. Chris, take us away here.
You got it. You heard the show, and we hope you want more. Well, feel free to join us over at our social media platforms. Instagram and our Facebook page can be found at Behind the Ears Podcast. Our webpage is behindtheearspodcast.net, and our email is behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. And our Twitter handle is @BehindTheEarsPC. And come and join the conversation about all things Disney over at the WDW community page. Don't forget to rate and review the show over at iTunes or Apple Podcasts, as it really helps us get the word out about the show. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or the Podbean app. Also, you can listen to us on Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and via Alexa and Google Home.
Well, you heard it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Follow us on all our social media platforms. I am Uncle Danny. Tuck your kids in tight, wear your seatbelt, and drink that cranberry juice. Hope you all have a fantastic evening.
And I'm Mr. Chris, and thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute blast. And until we meet again, we hope you have a magical day. Take care.